This is the AM show on 3 Magic Talk and online, and it is now 14 away from 9. If you're watching on telly, don't forget you can take us with you on the radio on Magic Talk. You just text the word LISTEN to 3920 for your local frequency. If you are looking to buy your first home, then listen up. It's a buyer's market and young people are doing their best to snap them up and snap them up quickly. Debbie Roberts from Property Apprentice is here to tell us about the top 5 mistakes that first home buyers make and how to avoid them. Good morning.
Good morning.
Firstly, is it, first call is always the bank, isn't it?
Yes, so most home buyers go to the bank that they've been saving their deposit with, and a lot of the time that's a mistake, because the thing with banks is that they all have different ways of calculating how much they're prepared to lend to you based on your provable income. So if you go directly to the bank that you've been saving with, you might not meet their lending criteria, and if you don't meet their lending criteria, they'll turn you down for lending, and then when you go to the next bank, you'll have to disclose the fact that you've been turned down for lending. So we recommend dealing with independent mortgage brokers because they'll take you to the bank that is most likely to approve your loan. So it shortcuts that process and it doesn't cost you anything.
How do I know who's a good mortgage broker, though? That's the problem I had.
Yes, so personal recommendations, talk to other people who've dealt with mortgage brokers before. I think interview the mortgage broker. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Just ask them what their experience is, especially in the first home buyer market, because there's mortgage brokers that specialise in the first home buyer market, so they can help give you advice around which grants you might qualify for as well.
And in the regions, first home buyers prices are going, you look at Wellington at the moment, it's like up. So next problem, I suppose, would be borrowing too much.
Yes, exactly. So one of the things that home buyers often do is once they find out how much they can borrow, that becomes their top dollar. So then they just go shopping and look for something that they like under that price point. And a lot of the time they'll pay too much for a house because they haven't researched what market values are in an area. They're buying based on emotion rather than based on, the actual facts. So I think do your homework on recent sales in the area to make sure you're not paying too much for a property, but also make sure that you're not borrowing more than you can comfortably afford. Interest rates at the moment are ridiculously low. So if you can only just afford the mortgage at today's interest rates, you're going to be in trouble in a few years' time if interest rates increase again.
You've told me that one of your top 5 pitfalls for first-home buyers is not doing due diligence. Really? Are people still not doing that?
You would be amazed.
Really?
You'd be amazed. It's like, I think it is a common thing with home buyers because it's so hard to save up your first deposit. A lot of the time people don't want to spend part of their deposit checking out a property. So, things like building inspections and registered valuations and things like that, it all costs money, but it'll save you money in the long run because a building inspection, for example, that'll identify any repairs and maintenance issues that you need to be aware of. So that could become a negotiation point with the person that's selling the house. I think in New Zealand, we tend to rely on the real estate agents to help us when we're putting in offers. And don't forget, the real estate agents work for the person that's selling the house.
Totally vested interest.
Absolutely.
Those guys. Just one of the things that I found certainly was the auction, right? So you're going to auction, you've got to do all of your due diligence before you go onto the auction floor.
Yes.
And you've got no guarantee that you're going to get the property. Thank goodness, I suppose, for first home buyers in this kind of market because there are fewer auctions.
Absolutely. Right? So, this is one of the advantages of a slower market, and almost everywhere across the country has now passed the peak of the boom. So the markets have all started to slow down, which is great for people that are trying to get their foot on the ladder, but you need to be smart about it. You still need to, do your research, do your homework on a property before you put your offer in. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is people over-leveraging on personal debt. So that is not going to help you when it comes to trying to get a home loan. If you've got credit card debt, that can even if you've got credit cards that you don't use, that can have a significant effect on how much you can borrow. My mum said to me once, she'll be proud of me for remembering this, but she said to me when I was in my early 20s, she said a credit card has a limit, not a target.
Nice.
Best advice ever.
I like that.
One little piece of advice. If you're a first home buyer, you're in the best position you've ever been in because you're effectively a cash buyer.
Oh,
so if you don't have to go to auction, play hardball. Because cash Even if it's lower than another conditional offer, is a
okay.
good offer.
And it just might be the best offer that a vendor gets in today's market. So yeah, don't be shy. Just negotiate hard and see what happens.
Debbie, thank you for that this morning. Debbie Roberts, Property Apprentice, and it's just gone now 9 away from 9. Up next, should we just let our children be bored during the school holidays? It might be easy, but kind of annoying at the same time. We'll find out next.